It's a hard one here because all my family's in Liverpool. If you move my family to London, would I say London instead?
Nice, man. So to take it back to cities, you obviously spoke about living in London and the fact that you can't really fully appreciate it because it is home and it's not a place which you go for a holiday destination. But you moved from Liverpool down to London. So you've got this kind of tourist element to the fact that you live in London to an extent. What is your favourite thing about living in London?
The West End. That's the thing that I'm going to miss the most when I move back, is the fact that you can't do it at the moment, but you can say, should we go for a meal and go to see a show? You could just book one and just go, and like they're just all there, and it's like every single one you can think of, all of the, like if you're in Liverpool and you want to go and see Hamilton or something like that, or you want to go and see the Book of Mormon, you have to wait till it goes on. You can go to London obviously to see it. You have to wait till it goes on tour, and it's like it'll be in your city for a couple of weeks and you can book a ticket to go and see it, and then it'll go to Manchester and it'll go to Newcastle and Leeds and it goes on tour. In London, you're just like, just go see that.
Yeah, whenever you want.
There's even like the websites where it has the spare tickets. It's like we've come down to London before and done stuff like that when I lived in Liverpool before I moved to London. And I'm sure once I move back, we'll do that every now and again, like every couple of months, come down, like book a hotel, go and see a show, go to one of our favorite restaurants from down here and stuff like that. But even like when I moved down with the lads and then Katie would come down to visit because she still lived in Liverpool, she could come down for the weekend and we'd be like, what do you want to do? I don't really know. She'd go on a website and there's like, oh, tickets to see Matilda for 20 quid because the show is tomorrow and there's loads of seats left. Do you want to go? And you're like, yeah, all right, let's go. And then you just like go and book go to a restaurant around the corner. Go and see Matilda. I went in being like, geez, I don't know what this is going to be. It was actually so good. Like, again, I'm like started off as like the least stereotypical want to go to the theatre person. When I was like 18, 19, whatever, if Katie went to me trying to go to the theatre, I'd be like, proper shite. No, why would I want to go and see that? But the thing that got me to go and see it was the Book of Mormon.
Yeah, the Book of Mormon's brilliant, isn't it?
Have you seen it? Yeah.
Yeah. So good. I saw it last year. Good. Incredible.
If anyone's listening and is like I was, where you think the theatre is just a bit shit, and like, why would you go and see that? And it's like for old women or like a bit cringe and whatever. It like is the complete opposite. It's so good. Like, but the Book of Mormon is the one to go and see to break that idea you've got of it, because it's Trey Parker and Matt Stone, the people who wrote South Park.
It's so funny, isn't it?
So funny.
So obviously you mentioned the fact that originally you were from Liverpool, moved down to London, and now you're moving back up to Liverpool in the future.
Yes.
I'm going to ask you a controversial question.
Go on.
Which is the better city?
York, option number 3. Yeah. I went to uni in York. It's really, really nice.
But if I had to push you for London or Liverpool?
It's a hard one here because all my family's in Liverpool. If you move my family to London, would I say London instead? I don't think so, you know. Again, if I had all the money in the world, I would have a house in Liverpool, my ski chalet in Valdzare, like I said, and a apartment in central London. So then I could come to London and just get the train, and it only takes a couple hours. And you don't have to be like, oh, I'm getting the train and I've got to catch the train at 10 o'clock or the 8 o'clock train to get back to Liverpool and drive back home. Just got my flat in London. I could just go and sleep there for a couple of days, or like get the train down on a Friday, spend the weekend in London, get the train back up on Sunday evening or something like that. That's I'm a bajillionaire dream. Yeah. But if I had to just pick one, I'd probably pick Liverpool, you know?
Would you? Yeah.
Not even just because I'm biased. Like, if you said, if you can move your family to anywhere, where would you live in the UK? Off my current knowledge, I'd probably pick York.
Okay, cool. So York's an amazing place in the UK, and it's like people absolutely love it. It's somewhere which I've got on my UK bucket list to go and visit. What's so special about York?
It's quite a historical place. The city centre inside the walls is really, really cool. So it's an everything city, really. So it's Roman is probably the most influential one on it in terms of like the walls and the streets and stuff like that. But when you go to York Minster, which is like, it's the biggest cathedral in Europe. It's a fact for you.
That's a good fact.
I didn't know that when I was there, but it's absolutely massive. You can see it from everywhere in the city, basically. You can go you go on like a little tour where you go down into the cellars, I guess, or the dungeons or whatever you want to call it. And you can see the different levels of where it's been built upon. So you can see the current foundations of the current minster that was built in, like, I'm making up, but like saying 1700 or something like that. Yeah. They built what's currently there. But then you can go down and see the foundations before that from the Roman one that was built in like 0 BC or 0 AD or like 200 AD or whatever, when they built a church there. And you can go back further again where you can see the ones where the Vikings built a church there when they invaded. And you can like go back and see all the different, like as you're going down the stairs, you can see all the different foundations. Like it's like kind of like a museum. They've like pointed out here, and you can like see that they're like, this is the foundation from when the Romans built it. This is the foundations from when this person built it, and this person. And like you can go back and it went turned from like a little church into this massive minster. So there's like loads of history there. And like it used to be the capital of England, didn't it? So there's like it's just like so much history there, and like it's such a nice. It's got the classic suburban sprawl as every city does, but in the center, whilst it still does have like a modern high street and stuff like that, there's like little roads that are like unchanged for like hundreds of years. So again, Google, type in York, the shambles. Yeah, it looks like Diagon Alley from Harry Potter.
Yeah, that's amazing. The house is just leaning inwards.
It literally does just look like, when you type in on Google, it looks exactly like that.
Yeah.
And there's loads of little shops in there, little coffee shops, and there's little pubs in these like old thatched roof buildings that are like leaning inside. It's just so like quaint, I guess. It's really, really cool. I really like York.